Welcome to Secular Soup. Stay tuned for real talk about atheism, feminism, politics, parenting, and whatever the fuck else Amy and Amy want to talk about, because this is their show. And get ready for a whole lot of motherfucking profanity.
Want to hear a secret?
I won't tell anybody. Go ahead. If I sit next to you, I'm going to get gonorrhea. It's going to jump into me. Just two ladies hanging out.
Is it okay for me to make fun of his neck waddle if I make fun of my own neck waddle?
I'm not sure.
That's a real ethical conundrum.
Would you know if you were born a lizard person, or can you be like adopted into...
I think you know.
We're such professionals.
We really are.
Buckle up, bitches. It's time to have some soup.
Hi, I'm Amy with an I, and I'm here with another blueberry in the bowl of tomato soup. Oh.
America. I think we've all met before. We're taking our glasses off because
Yes,
it's weird
America.
looking at my reflection in my own glasses.
That's why I put contacts in. I wear glasses all day, every day, and then I put contacts in for the show. So, and Amy complains about her eyes, her glasses the whole time. So, yeah, it's America with an A. Yeah.
I know. With the C too. I went
With
to
a C.
Starbucks the other day, and I don't go to Starbucks because I don't drink coffee. But
Yeah, I drink tea. I'm a tea person.
and I'm not going to Starbucks for a cup of tea. It's so expensive. So
Yeah.
I go for the Wi-Fi because I have a meeting. Anyway, I needed Wi-Fi, and so I was like, I know who has Wi-Fi. And I get there, and the woman's like, "Hi, what's your name?" And I'm like, "America." And she's like, "How do you spell that?" And I spell my name for her. And then when I get called up, there's a gentleman there, and he's like, "Do you say your name like America, like the country?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, my sister spells it with a K, and she calls herself America." And I'm like, "Why?"
Wait, where's the K?
What?
Oh, instead of the C.
Yeah. And I'm like, "America, why does she do that?" He's like, "I don't know. She just likes it." And I was like, "What did your mom name her?" He's like, "America."
Oh my
Okay.
gosh. Did she look Mormon? Or did he look Mormon? Because they're the ones that are like, her name is
I should have asked.
Amber Laricra or something. You're like, no, it's not. She's clearly Becky. Like, come on.
The K, right. The Kaylee's the
Kaylee.
EIGH.
Yeah, EIGH. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything with the Lee at the end, LEIGH. You're like, oh my God. Amber Lee, Riley, Camberly. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
I keep seeing these girls I grew up with, and they're posting the names of their babies. And then the boys are all Cameron. I don't know why. They're all Cameron. And I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Like, oh my God, what is wrong with you guys?
I want it to be unique. And I'm like, sure. Okay.
I
No
mean, at
one
least
can
they didn't
understand
name them like Shooter,
right.
which I've also seen. I've seen Shooter. I've seen Rifle. I've seen, Texas.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I've seen Sky spelled like the vodka. Yeah.
I love like the country suburban white mom aesthetic.
Yes, that's like I
just-
assumed because you said Starbucks, so I was like,
Right.
okay. America.
Yeah, no, that
okay.
whole it's real big in like the Kentucky, Ohio area too, because Kentucky, like they have farms, but they've torn down the old farmhouse, and now it's these modern farmhouses that essentially it's just an HGTV show come to life.
I hate all of them.
Yeah, and all the houses look the same. All the granite looks the same, because I thought about buying a house in the area.
Yeah.
And it's cookie cutter home after home after home.
So sad.
I know. And I love my realtor. She was the nicest lady in the world, but she was very much that like country suburban mom type with the Kaylee for the daughter. And I was like, this is not my aesthetic at all. And she's like, you don't love it? Like your husband's going to love when you cook for him in this kitchen. And I'm like,
there are 3 things wrong with that statement.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm trying to look gayer. Like, was this not working for you? Like, what makes you think I'm getting a husband? Yeah. Your husband's going to love it. I mean,
same. No. And, but same though. Same. I mean, I'm not trying to look gayer. I'm just not looking for a husband.
Yeah, no. Definitely not looking for a husband.
No, I've been like my fiance's like, okay, we've been engaged for 3 years now. Do you want to try to nail down a date? I'm like,
There was
We
a
can
pandemic. We have to
go
wait for
on vacation.
Yeah.
And he was like, there's these ones that the wedding's like thrown in. I'm like, is there a open bar always? Just
I love that there are vacations where there's a wedding like thrown in.
If you go to Sandals, I learned this. If you go to Sandals in like St. John's or Cancun or wherever, if you stay more than I think 3 days or like 3+ days, you can get a free wedding thrown in, which is a great deal. It's a great deal.
Because weddings are expensive.
But then you're married.
Yeah.
So.
And it's a legal marriage. It's not just like a party. It's like you're committed.
Yeah. So I was like, can we do one of those? So you can go to places in Vegas and get like a fake wedding.
Right.
You can go through get the ceremony and get like a joke certificate. I was like, can we do that? And he was like, oh my gosh, Amy. I'm like, no, seriously. Like we can do it. You can get your wedding ceremony and I get my joke. Like come on. No, apparently that's not, we're making a mockery of something that's serious. Like, am I? People marry their houses. So yeah, I've already been married and you've been married and we're not having children. So, because I don't want any more kids. I don't want the ones I have. So, Yeah.
And they're almost grown, right? Like now's not the time to start having more children.
I don't want to restart. That's okay. So that's what happened with my youngest. I was like on the way, like all of them were in school. And then I got pregnant one more time. I'm like, fuck. I mean, she's great. Don't get me wrong. But it was like a reset. And I knew it was a reset because I'd already started school. My baby was in kindergarten. I was like, okay, finally some freedom. Yeah. No. So I was taking finals, nursing a baby that semester. It was fun. Fun semester. Good times. Oh yeah, we were talking about how women are badasses. Huh.
Yes. Going to college and like the number of women in my class who were like, oh, I've got to go home and like work and take care of my kids. And I'm like, wow, you did that and you studied for 7 hours. And they're like, oh yeah, no, I have to do it all. I'm like, that's amazing.
Yeah. I studied for tests. I wrote papers in car lines while picking up my children, like doing the carpool stuff. Like I would just sit in the car line. I'd get there an hour early, make sure my baby napped, turn on Frozen in the minivan, whatever, and I would just sit there and read my books or write my papers or whatever I needed to do. So it's crazy. Or I put her in ballet from the time she was 2, and I used that time to do homework.
That is, I hadn't thought about like using extracurriculars as a way to like get your kids.
All I did. Why do you think my kids went to Scouts, karate? Like they did everything. Everything. That's what I did.
It's just like, oh, our mom wants us to be involved. And you're like, no, I just need a break.
Mama needs to study and you guys keep fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're grown. I have a 19-year-old. He's a giant adult human person. I say adult with big quotes because 19 is not an adult. And then I have a 16-year-old. And then my baby is 11. She'll be 12 in May. And I just bought her roller skates because I have roller skates and she wanted to skate with me. So I just got her roller skates and I had to buy a woman's 8.
Wow.
She's like, when you buy those, you get those puppies that have those giant feet. Like that's kind of how I feel about her right now. Like she's long and skinny, but she's like, there's nowhere else to go but up. Like this is
it's gonna shoot up.
She's huge.
I love it. You're gonna wake up.
And I look at myself. I'm like literally 4'2", and I'm like, how? Yeah, I'm tiny. So I don't know if I've ever said my height on the show. I don't know.
No.
I don't know. No, I am 4'2". I say under 5 foot. Which I met my fiance I say John LaCollar. I met him for the first time. He was like, you said you were under 5 foot. I was like, was it a lie? Am I wrong?
See?
No, I'm not. Yeah, I don't put that on the apps because, yikes.
I'm so unused to the majority of like my social circle I've met online. And so when I meet people, I'm like, I did not estimate you were going to be that short.
Yeah, I'm super short. I'm very tiny.
Oh, okay.
Amy's taller than me, but she's not super tall. But everybody's taller than me. So
Amy just gives me like what was the Tim Burton Corpse Bride? The mom that's like real severe, the like tall, severe British woman. Amy just gives me like tall, thin
British
I want
vibes.
her in a Victorian gown and just like there's ghosts behind her all the time.
That's very fair. What am I? Like the squirrel that there's like is like jumping in the hole?
You are.
I'm just making up another cartoon. I don't know what I'm
No,
talking about.
I'm trying to think of like, I don't know if it's a movie, but like in my head, so Amy is the really severe, like taller sister, and you're the
I can
shorter,
absolutely see that.
nicer one who's just kind of like bubbly and smiley. And I'm a strange woman. I'm like a governess who's coming into your home. And I'm like, these have a very odd relationship. I would not peg them as being related at all. As Amy is just standing there petting her cat,
Just like
looking at me.
the ghost everywhere.
Yes.
Okay. Well, what's funny is we've met because Amy and I have met in person, but only once because, COVID. But she's like super severe in person too, but she's super nice. And I look nice, but I'm really not. Like we'll go to I'll go somewhere and someone will do something or say something and I will go up there with the sweetest smile, all the Southern charm, and I will just like rip them a new one, but I'll be super nice about it. So they don't see it coming. That's what
That's
happens.
the best. You got to blindside them.
I do. Or I'll say something absolutely absurd, like really off the wall, and people are like, holy crap, like this tiny redheaded human just what did she say? Like, I don't even that's the one thing I've heard my entire life is, what did she just say? Wait, yes. What did she just say? Like that's the number one phrase. Like, what's the number one phrase people have always said to you your entire life is, what did she just say? I really wish I could have the guts to say, did I stutter? But I don't. I just say, pretty sure you heard me.
We're gonna work you up to did I stutter?
Did I fucking stutter?
We're gonna work you up to that. I want to be there, right? I want to be there.
I'm hoping for another Skepticon, and I'm hoping Skepticon comes back because it's in St. Louis, which is like kind of central for everybody. Ish.
Oh, and that's super close to me. I would love to meet people, although I've really at this point the only podcast that I listen to is yours on and off.
Aww,
I've just sort of like
I don't listen to mine.
given up all the others.
I'm really tired of listening to men.
No, same.
To be honest, like
hard thing
in every aspect of my life. So
they're starting to all have this. They're starting to all have the same kind of opinion too. No matter where they are sort of in their opinions, there's the same flavor that's happening. Yeah. And I'm like, ugh, I just don't care what you think anymore.
Yeah. I really, really hope that a middle-aged, mediocre white man will like step in and tell me what he thinks about this. Hot take.
Yes.
Super excited.
Especially when their take is, you should just listen to women. And I'm like, thank you for telling me that.
Oh my gosh, I'm allowed to speak now? Sir, thank you so much. I've been waiting for this moment my entire life.
I did not know that I should listen to others. May experience.
You mean I should ask who this is actually affecting? Next, you're going to tell me if something is affecting, like any other race or gender, I should ask them.
Yeah, weird how that happened.
And take a step back and wait to see, hey, what should I do? What should I say? Is there a way I can help?
Revolutionary.
No, I'm just going to say, you can't use the word privilege because I was born poor. No.
I didn't even get a car until I was 18. Oh wow.
Let me
your
tell
life is-
you, I had to walk to school one time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
no.
audacity.
That's what we were gonna talk about eventually. We were gonna talk about it eventually. The audacity of men. What gives them the right?
I spend so much time on TikTok, which allows people
I
to
need
be
to be more on TikTok. I love it.
it may
It's-
break your soul because like they're real it lets people be so honest. It's like doing, I mean, you can do a live, so not only
Yeah.
you get to do a live, but people are actively recording like their everyday situations,
Yeah.
and so it
will.
shows you they have more audacity than we ever thought.
So I love mental health TikTok. You talked about that.
Yeah.
I am obsessed with gay TikTok. Obsessed. So I was talking to this friend the other day, and I've said this on the show before. He ended up on cartel TikTok.
Okay.
And I was like, send me them, please. I really want to end up. How do you end up on cartel TikTok? Like, what is the pathway? How does that become your For You page? Like, what is this? What is the commonality?
It's when the guys in jail go on live, you've probably got to interact with a lot of those videos. That's what they've done.
I don't even know what's happening. Like,
trust me, late at night,
you'll randomly casually, he's like, so I ended up on cartel TikTok. I'm like, and then he just kept talking about something. I'm like, whoa. You need to take like 7 steps back and explain to me how you ended up on cartel TikTok.
Right.
And what did they say? Please tell me. I want to know everything. And he's like, well, it kind of disappeared. I'm like, I'm sure it did. Please tell me everything. Please. Like, I really want to end up cartel TikTok. So, yeah.
It's the random things. I, for a while, was on grain silo death TikTok.
What?
Where, I just discovered there are so many deaths in grain silos.
Oh, yeah. Did you see the dressmaker? It happened in that movie. Oh, oops.
Never saw it. They've now
one of the movies.
Like robots to help dig people out of grain silos. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and because you think about it, you're just slipping. You're just
So it's like a thing that'll just like go in there and then
it's like real life quicksand.
Yeah, I had no clue.
Oh my gosh, it's terrifying.
So for a while, I was on grain silo death. Yeah.
Well, I love the ones with like the hidden rooms, or like that woman that was my favorite. I'm sure you've seen it if you're on TikTok a lot. That lady that pulled up the boards of her front porch and found like the staircase.
No.
Did you see that one? So she went down there, and I was like, ooh, because it's like a 5-part series. So super engaged. Because I just happened to scroll past the first one, and I was like, yes. So I went to the next one, and I watched it. And she was like, okay, we're going in. It's like her and her friend, and they're going in. And so they have these big lights, and they're not scared. So they probably don't believe in ghosts or anything. So they're just looking around. And then she was like, well, that's it. I was like, well, that was anticlimactic. I was hoping for at least some kind of like something.
Right. Pretend. Make it up.
Could you guys, like those ghost hunter guys, like something grabbed my leg. It's like, no, they didn't. But I appreciate that. I like.
Don't make me watch a 5-part series for nothing. Like when they Al
the end was like,
that's it. Hidden room, and it was just like, oh, it's just empty. No, you fake a dead body in there.
Come on.
Yeah.
Fake something. Yeah. They're like, oh my gosh, found this pile of gold. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Or that one with the apartment behind the wall. Like there's all kinds of stuff. It's cool. I like those things.
Yes.
That's fun.
I love when those. New Yorkers discover, like, they're like, oh, what is that sound coming from? And they discover that their apartment has just been like divided in half, and there's actually a hidden apartment next to them. And I'm like,
there's just someone else living there.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, I love it. Poor New Yorkers though.
Well, they're paying like, $5,000. Oh yeah, I saw this one thing. It was like, this is what $5,000 gets you in New York. And she literally showed us around her apartment, and it was like, that's it. Like, oh crap.
I know. And the last time I went was in February of 2020. And so I go to like get my eyebrows threaded, and it cost basically the same as what I was paying in Tucson, Arizona. So I was like, okay, how are you
Right.
able to afford, darling? Like, you live in Manhattan and you're charging me $12 to get my eyebrows threaded. How are
Yeah.
you able to afford living here? And she's like, oh, well, you basically work 6 days a week for 12 hours. And I was like, so
Oh.
when do you get to enjoy New York? And she's like, on the day you don't work. And I was like, sweetie, I know everyone that lives
You're
in New
like
York loves New
healthcare
York.
or
Right.
join tech.
Right. And I'm like, I live in Arizona and it cost me $100 round trip ticket to get here. Why don't you live somewhere cheaper? And she's like, oh, well, I just love the city. And I was like, you never get to
You
experience
don't
the
actually
city.
live in the city.
Right.
You
You're
live in
working.
here. You live in
Yeah.
this room. This is where you live.
Right. And like, I get no one wants to move to Ohio like I did just because it's cheap. But I still think about the fact that
I might at some point, maybe. Oh, well, yeah.
so far I'm loving it, but I could not like live in New York.
No.
You'd have to be a millionaire. Like there's no
I love Dallas
regular
though.
salary.
I do love Dallas. Dallas
I
is super
wanted
fun.
to go back to
I
Texas,
know.
but I was worried about it not being on the grid.
It's okay. That was real bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Right,
I
like
lost power. I lost power for 8 days, and it was
Jesus.
real bad. Well, because rich people and people that are on the same lines as hospitals or police stations kept power. And I
Oh,
live in an apartment in a small town, so not
oh,
going to happen for me. I don't live by a cell tower either. So I just live in an apartment near parks. Like, doesn't matter. Like, we don't matter. So yeah, I lost my power for 8 days, and we had no cell service because they redirected the cell service to emergency lines only. So we
yeah.
had everything was really slow. I couldn't make any phone calls, couldn't download anything. Finally, I was able to text my girlfriend because I have a diesel car, which gelled up. I didn't
Yeah.
know that. I live in Texas. How would I know that? So I couldn't start my car to even leave
Right.
or to get warm. So finally I was able to text my friend, and she came and saved us. Like, she came down in her minivan and she picked us up, and she was like, we're going to swing by the liquor store for necessities and then go back to my house because she knows me. So we did. We swung, by the liquor store and then back to her house, and we sat in front of her fireplace for 2 days. So, because she had rolling blackouts and I had full blackouts. So
Wow.
she was slightly better. Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. Like, all my food went bad, even though I had it out on the patio, like all the meat and stuff. And so, yeah, it was bad. It's bad. And Ted Cruz was in Cancun, so
To this day, I feel like, ugh.
that was the best Halloween costume I ever saw. Though was the next Halloween after that, like this past Halloween, someone was the dog. Did you see that picture? Like, someone was the dog, and someone was Ted Cruz with the mask on and rolling his suitcase, and someone was like, and the dog outside the glass, and they took the picture outside the glass window at the party. It was the best picture I saw, like the best Halloween costume I've ever seen.
That man is. Do you know what I just discovered? I just discovered
He's garbage.
And the new judge,
Okay.
TBJ.
Mhm.
They were both in Harvard together, and she was a class under him, and he disliked her.
I'm
Because
sure.
there's another senator who's like, oh no, we were all in Harvard together, and he was a jerk and thought the rest of us were like incompetent and could do nothing.
I'm sure he
And
did.
now she is on the Supreme Court. I was like, that's amazing.
It's
I had
fantastic
no
because that's what he wants.
I hope it just gets to him. Right. I hope it just gets to him for the rest of his life.
What did I
For
see? I saw
abandoning
somewhere.
his people.
I saw something. I'm trying to find the meme to back up my as evidence. It's my evidentiary meme. But I think it's something along the lines of the Menendez brothers went to school with someone. Oh, it's someone like Ted Cruz. Is Ted Cruz like? Oh my gosh, I sent it to someone, but I sent way too many pictures to this person, so I can't actually find it.
Being compared
So
to
it
Ted
was
Cruz has to be the worst insult.
I agree.
I'm going to start
Who did the
using that. Oh my
Menendez
God, you're so much like
brothers?
Ted Cruz.
You're giving me some Ted Cruz vibes right now. So you should probably stop.
Are you going to abandon me when I need you, just like Ted Cruz? Oh, I'm using that one. That's a good one.
That's cold.
So is Texas. Oh no.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I can't even find it. Oh well, whatever. It was something along those lines. It was like the minute I heard somewhere that the Menendez brothers went to school with, I think it was, I'm badly quoting, I don't know if it's Ted Cruz, but I'm going to say Ted Cruz for the sake of this. Like, I heard they went to school with Ted Cruz, but that's no excuse for them to have killed their parents. Like even based on all of that trauma of knowing him.
Agreed.
So, hard agree. Like, I went to high school with some really terrible people. I haven't killed anybody yet, so.
I know. The one time I actually listened to my parents about not dating a boy, even though I was madly in love with him, he actually did go to a festival, get a girl pregnant, and then killed her. And when
killed her?
Yes, ma'am. Met a girl at a festival when we were in high school. Brought her home like a total crazy person. They lived together. She transferred, like, his parents took over custody for this girl. She transferred to our high school. And so this dude that I'm madly in love with, sophomore year, leaves, comes back over the summer with a girlfriend. And I'm like, what the and my parents were like, we told you he's not good for you. And so I was like, fine, I'll stop seeing him. And over winter break,
you were seeing him? You're sneaky seeing him?
Yes. And I didn't tell them that, but I was like, when my parents were like, see, he doesn't even really like you. He's got a girl. He told me all summer, he just couldn't be on the phone. No, he came back to school junior year with this girl.
He couldn't be on the phone because she was right next to him.
Right. She was like, no, we met at a festival. And I was like, what the? Yeah. And so over Christmas break, we knew at the end of October, she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And because our high school also had a sort of like an extra building. Unfortunately, we had a lot of teen pregnancies. And so they had a lot of
same. I'm from San Antonio.
Yeah. We're both from. So I was at Robert E. Lee. So Robert E. Lee had a building. And it was
that high school's gorgeous, though. It's pretty.
It's gorgeous now.
It's
it was
gorgeous
not gorgeous when I went, but it had a building for like the girls that were pregnant. So she started going to those classes. And then
I remember those classes. We had those classes at mine too.
Right. Neither one of them came back after Christmas break. And it was because he had murdered her.
Her.
Yeah. He didn't want her to have a baby. And I remember when my parents read that in the news, they just looked at me and they were like, we told you so. And I'm like,
no, you don't get to say that. I had forgotten you were also from San Antonio. We've talked about that before. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, my dad was just like, see, I told you he's not a good guy for you. And I'm like, thanks, Dad.
See, I went to Holmes, so not much better.
Okay. I mean, I hear our schools have gotten better now. Especially
I'm sure they have.
So many people have moved to San Antonio.
It's funny because I'm still Facebook friends with very few people I went to high school with, but a select few. And one of them was like, "Oh yeah, my daughter starts at Holmes next year." I'm like, on purpose? Like,
right?
You're sending them. We went to school with kids of the Mexican mafia. Like, I literally did. Like, there was a kid that I went to high school with that disappeared at some point because he was speaking out against someone's dad, and he just didn't come back. He was so cute too. It was a shame.
Oh no.
For so many reasons, but he was really cute. Like, he was angelic looking. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, he had one of those really like angelic, like the Statue of David faces, kind of like chiseled, and and it was really sad. Also because it was human. It was just a hot human. It just happened to be a hot human. Doesn't make it sadder, but it doesn't not make. I don't know.
No, I'm with you. Not saying that like my death is less tragic than a model, but like something about a really pretty person just being like,
well, especially like a 16-year-old.
Yeah,
like a really attractive 16-year-old. Not that 16-year-olds in general.
At the time. No, I get you. Don't worry, Amy. Yeah. This is not going to be. The feds are not coming for you.
This is going to be used against me in a court of law, America. You have no idea. America? Am I saying it right?
I'll be on the witness
I
stand and
will
they'll be like,
forever be. Can you please refer to me as America from now on?
the guy looked at me seriously and he's like, do you pronounce it America like my sister does? And I was like, no, it's America.
Yeah, literally, it's America. Like, just America. That's
America. My chemistry professor in college asked me if it was Americia. You pronounce the C like an S. And I was like, where are you getting this from?
Was he from America? Like, it was he?
He was just a white dude from Kansas. And I'm like, I don't even know where you get that from.
We've spoken. I don't have an accent. So, like,
he's like, is it Americia? No, it's America.
Maybe he's had a student that pronounced the name America.
Maybe
America was in his class also. Like, they were like, excuse me.
Together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, it's
Riley.
Riley.
And she's Riley. Get it right. Like, could you please?
That would drive me up.
Literally spelled the same. Yeah.
So
I have so many friends named Erica, like, for some reason, that I work with and whatever. But the new spelling of Erica is Arkea. I've known more than 3 people that have spelled their name like that. And I'm like, because everybody says Arika. It's just, excuse me. My name is Erica. Like, it's not though. It's literally not. Like, that's.
I feel like we got to go the way the Germans and like I never remember what they're actually called. The ball sack countries.
Like Slavic.
Yes, the Nordic countries.
Okay. Yes. Go. Oh, Nordic. Those are Nordic and Slavic. They're different. But yes,
I'm like, they just hang off Europe at the top there.
Ball sack. That's why you said ball sack.
Yes. Probably
this is why America's on the show. This is why right here. The the class that is brought with the ball sacks.
Oh no. In the way in which like some of them don't allow, like there's an approved list of names. I mean, at some point we've just got to be like, you can't spell your kid's name like that.
You can't. Like, I don't know how many kids in my kids' classes are named like I'm sorry, Abigail's got to go at this point. Like, it needs maybe like a pause. Like, just a pause.
And we let it come back in like a decade or the next generation. Yeah.
It's like, because everybody's grandma's going to be named Abigail in 40 years. It's like, this is my grandma Abby. It's like, yeah, duh.
Mine too.
Same. It's like Ruth back in the day. It's like, yes, your grandma's also named Ruth. That's super cool. How original and unique.
Yep. Lots of Almas. My grandmother's generation.
Oh yeah, I knew a Mamie. So I used to work in a nursing home back in the day, and I met a Mamie, and I thought that was the coolest name ever. But I can't name a baby Mamie because the word Mame.
Right.
But I really like the name Mamie. So this is unrelated. My friends and I were talking about names or words that sound like they'd be great baby names, but the definition is bad.
Okay.
Like psoriasis. Like, that would be a great baby name. But something like that, something along those lines. Like, like Severance.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Something has some punch to it.
I like Severance. The name,
right? Honestly. It's a good show too. Have you seen it?
I've not.
It's on Apple TV. I just watched it, and it literally was the best show I've ever seen in my entire life. Not to oversell it. Oversell it.
All right.
No, if you have Apple TV, like, blew my mind. Just get the free trial and watch Severance. But it's a good name too. It's also a good name. I should get paid by Apple TV.
Yeah.
And the guy that played Ben on Parks and Rec, because he's the main star. I don't even know his name. I can't remember his name. I never remember anyone's name.
It's all right. I've never seen Parks and Rec, so I don't know who you're talking about.
And Patricia Arquette's in it.
I don't know who that is.
She's the lady that saw Ghost that one time in Tucson.
I will have to Google her. I don't. Oh, wait. She's married, or she's what's his face? Is David Arquette's sister?
Arquette's sister. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, we just watched it. We binged it in like 2 days, and it was seriously, both of us just finished the series. We were like, oh my gosh.
All right.
So,
Severance.
but-
I'm on it. I will get the free trial.
That was unrelated because we were talking about baby names. So yeah. But when my cousin was pregnant, she knew she was having a girl. I was like, bookcase? And she was like, no. I'm like, you're right. Bookcase is a little more masculine than you're going for. And she was like, that's not the problem I have with it. I was like, lamp? And she's like, are you just
Inanimate objects around the room.
Yeah. She was like, Lillian. I'm like, fine, if you want to be boring.
Yeah. Monitor, right? Like, let's
Right.
spice it
Literally.
up.
I'm like, I don't know, shelves? Table?
Something.
It's like when you name a dog, it's like, it doesn't even matter. Like, I don't even
No.
care.
Right. The number of dogs that I have seen on TikTok who are all named Pancake or Ramen or Mochi, right? Just whatever food you love. Waffle, lots of waffles,
It's so
which is an
stupid.
adorable name for an animal. But I also love when their name like Roger, right? Just why are we calling
love
a
that.
golden retriever Roger?
It's like, this is Gregory. You're like, it's,
Yeah.
that's a beagle. Like, it's so funny. He comes in the room, he's like, what's up? I feel like Gregory's going to tell you you're late on your rent. You know? Like, he's going to
Just
slide a
judging you.
notice under your door. And you're going to pretend like you can't see him and you're not home.
Yes.
It's okay.
Sneak out.
Everybody
when
hide.
he's not.
Gregory's here. Yeah.
Oh,
It's funny.
yeah.
Yeah, my
The fun of
dog,
pet names.
I named him Slarty Bart, or her. I named her Slarty Bart Fast
Party Barton? Yes.
because she literally was a dog and didn't matter. Like,
yeah.
freaking didn't matter. And so my kids were like, we can't put that on a name tag, Mom. I was like, fine. So they called her Kiki, but her name was Slarty Bart Fest. That was her christened
See?
name. It's her.
I like it. And then Kiki
I
is
called her.
the music.
I called her Slarty. I always called her Slarty. She didn't care. I fed her. So
Right.
she's gonna come
There's
when I call
going
her.
to be
I'm like,
one vet tech that is going to love that name because they are a nerd who has
they get it.
read the Hitchhiker's
They're gonna be
Guide.
like, oh my god,
Yeah, and this
that
is
is
their
a
favorite.
cut.
Yes.
I don't have her anymore.
There's gonna be-
I don't have that dog anymore. But
Aw.
no, I had to rehome her when I got divorced. But no, she was Slarty Bart Fast. It was nobody
I love
got
it.
it, and I was like, they were like, why is he named that? I'm like, because she's a dog and it doesn't matter. Duh.
Yeah. That's
No.
why you can
My
pick
cat-
any ridiculous name for an animal.
I don't understand why people aren't. Like,
They're
I would
not
name
creative.
my
They're
dog.
not like going out there.
I would literally name like my cat was Moriarty because he was a fucking asshole. He was a fucking asshole. And I think he was secretly trying to kill me.
Aren't they all? I got
I love
a
cats.
mug.
Yeah.
I am not I am a fan of cats that do not live in my home.
Yeah.
Like I'm
I'm a fan of all pets that don't live in my home right now because I
Right.
have too busy.
But I posted a mug. I have a cat butt mug.
I think I hearted it. Pretty sure I hearted it or laughed at it. One of those two. It's the
And-
same reaction.
I posted it on TikTok and I was like talking about it. And I was like, yeah, I'm not really a fan of cats as a pet, but I really love this mug. I got yelled at by so many people who were like, you're the devil for not liking cats.
Listen
if you don't
here, ma'am.
And I'm like, what?
Wow.
And someone was like, people that don't like cats are usually like terrible human beings and criminals. And I'm like, that's a bit of a stretch. Where are you getting this information from? I
So
was
you're like,
unaware.
are you a cop?
I know. I was unaware of how passionate cat owners are about.
Yeah, it's
their
weird.
animals.
I mean, so I understand the whole because you appreciate cats,
Yeah.
but there's people that adamantly hate cats, like my mother, like adamantly hate cats. I kind of wonder if it has to do with the consent thing.
Oh,
You know,
yeah. People say that all the
'cause
time,
cats-
and
But I don't really
Yeah.
know because some people just don't like cats. Some people don't like animals. Like I'm not a fan of animals in general because I don't want another thing to take care of because I have too many goddamn kids. Like
right.
I don't want to take care of another thing. My succulents are barely alive. Like
Oh no,
I know.
not
it's
the
fine.
succulents.
I'll buy more.
And my whole
That's
issue with
Becky.
cats
They're Becky
is
and
not-
Linda. They're my
Becky.
coworkers. My daughter named them.
I love it. Yeah, no, mine is just that, like, I recognize that is a small, like, predatory animal that likes to bite.
Yeah,
and
I
chase.
love it.
I'm
It's
just-
great.
Yeah, and I'm like, look, bro, it's great when you're outside, but like they tend to like to bite and chase me, and I don't know what to do. It's like having a
Yeah.
sibling. I think it's because like I'm not used to. Like,
Siblings have never
I was an only child, and so even when I was very briefly raised with my little brother, I unfortunately had to take the maternal role. So I've never had like a sibling relationship with anything. So I don't understand what to do when something just like comes over and just like pokes me and runs away. I'm like, ah, right? I don't have that sibling.
You're like, this is why I'm
experience.
trying to look more gay. This is why I don't want something to just poke at
Right.
me.
Right?
Run
Don't
away.
just poke at me.
Don't just poke at me and run
Yeah.
away.
I know. I know. I think of all the time.
This is an
So I
Aldi's, not a
discovered-
Tinder.
Yes. I think of all the times that just I was in a relationship with a man and they would just like show me their penis and I'm like, that looks nice. Well, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to take more interest in this.
You're supposed to send the hard eyes emoji.
I
That's-
know. And I was just like, oh, are we critiquing it? I mean, it looks nice. I don't.
Well done,
you know.
sir. Like,
Yeah.
your
doesn't look like
parents
you should
did
go to the
well. Do
doctor.
you want to talk about complimenting your mom? Nope, that's weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Not bring
No.
up your mom when you're trying to be sexy with me. Don't talk
Right.
about
Should
your
I,
mom.
write your parents and say congratulations?
Do I send a thumbs up? That's passive aggressive. Don't do that. Apparently, if you tell them that if it's something that you saw running in the forest, you'd shoot it, is not also complimentary. I learned that. I learned that also.
No, I love those responses to
I did that.
unsolicited genital pics. That they
Oh.
deserve every one of those instances.
I don't get them anymore. Not as much. That's not an invitation. I don't get them as
Yeah.
much anymore because I do not mark to single on anywhere, which is really helpful. And I don't really put myself out there because I just stay in my house and I don't go anywhere and whatever. But I used to get them all the time, like unsolicited dick pics. And I got one during a live show once. I don't know if you've heard that episode or seen it. So there was a panel. It was me and Amy and I believe Ari. We were all, and Nikki.
Okay.
We were all from Unapologetics, Nikki from Unapologetics. We were all on a panel.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, I just got an unsolicited dick pic. Would you like me to share it? I asked, I got consent. They all said yes. So I sent them all the dick pic that I had just received unsolicited. And we made fun of it for like 10 minutes. So
That's amazing.
it was, but then fast forward a year or two later, I needed to ask something of Ari. And the last message I had sent them was the dick pic. And I was like, I went to the Facebook Messenger. I was like, how do you follow this up? Like the last thing I sent you was this very impressive dick. Like, what do I say? I didn't know what to say after that, but
right.
I
And that was before you could unsend messages. So
I could have, but why would I? That is a gift that would keep on giving. Because then when they answered my message, they saw the dick. Like
every time.
I left it. Same with Nikki. I went to go text Nikki. I was like, oh, because Nikki and I are in a group text with Amy.
Okay.
And so I went to send Nikki something on the side of asking something like, hey, you want to co-host? I think she did like, I date me or something. So I sent her something on the side. I was like, oh, the last thing I sent you was a penis.
Genitals.
No, not mine. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been.
It's been a
I'm-
minute since
I've-
I've received unsolicited ones. I've received dick pics from, solicited.
I get them randomly. So I'm in a lot of travel groups.
Mhm.
And I will get them.
Nice.
I'll post my opinion about a country, and all of a sudden, some guy's like, "I really liked what you said about Turkey," and then he just shows me a photo of his balls, and I'm like, "Why? Where?"
Because of the ball
What?
sack.
Yeah, right. Like, what was it that I said that was so arousing about Turkey that you were like, "This person wants to see me naked"?
It was a throat. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they don't want to see you naked. They just want you to see them naked.
Right. And I'm like, I'd rather not. Thank
You're-
you, though.
Making them feel like your opinion is well,
It's sexy.
it's like well-rounded and educated and
Right. They're finally like, ooh, a woman who's smart. Those are rare. Wow.
okay. I have a bone to pick with this. Like, there's so many
Yes.
men that are like, I really want a smart, opinionated woman. I'm like, no, you don't.
No.
You absolutely don't. Because the second I come in there, I'm like, hey, I might be smarter than you. Probably am. Let's be real. And I am opinionated about things and I'm independent. Make my own money, don't need anyone, handle my own business. You start to have some real problems with me.
Yes. Yes. They get on
Like,
podcasts all the time now and they're like, oh, once women have gone to college and gotten a degree, they've really taken themselves off the market. I'm like, what?
oh no, I've done that 3 times.
How dare we?
I have way too many degrees. Yeah, that's a problem. Though the thing I have is I'll, start talking to someone or date them or whatever, and they'll be like, you should do this. I'm like, pretty sure I didn't ask your opinion here. And then they're like, oh, well, aren't you sassy? I'm like, I'm not being sassy. Like, literally didn't ask you for your opinion.
Right. This didn't need your help. Thanks, bud.
I'm like, I'll
Thanks.
send you a selfie with my cleavage showing, but I'm still going to handle my own business. There you go. Like, I don't need you for this situation. I got it.
Do you also have fun when they tell you your job?
Yeah.
They're
Well, they
like,
ask me what I do and I tell them because
yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, let me explain that to you. And I'm like, thanks. Or I've got a degree in this. I didn't need your help, but okay.
Yeah. Well, there was one time I was talking to somebody and I told him what I did and he was like, oh, I have that degree too. I'm like, oh, you want it to be better than me. Cool. It's cool.
They're great.
It's fun. It's real fun. They're great.
I spend way too much time on TikTok listening to like men and their terrible hot takes, and I just laugh at them in the comments.
Yeah. Yeah. I love TikTok though. It's the best gift ever.
It is, and I was firmly not ever going to download
Me
it because I
too.
didn't think it was just a children's dancing app.
Yeah.
And then in the first
And then
48
COVID.
hours, yeah, I was addicted.
Me too. And then the best thing, you were there, I'm sure you were there, like during the transition from Trump to Biden was magical moment on TikTok because there were like literally live streaming the cheering and dancing in front of the White House, like, you're gone. And I loved it. It was great. I also learned that about cocoa butter oil.
Yeah.
For my face. Didn't know that. My white Mormon mother never told me that. So it's great. I'm using it all the time and I love it. So
yay.
Yeah.
TikTok teaches me so much.
So much. Like the lesbian lady that caulks things, that talks about caulk. Oh, I love her so much. And then the lady that folds the fitted sheets.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I've learned the only reason I know anything about how to buy a house is because of TikTok.
I need to buy a house. I bought a car last week though.
Nice. That's rough in this market too.
It was, I looked a lot but literally John McCuller went to the bathroom and I was researching. He came back out and I was like, I've started the process. I found my car because it was under $30,000 with 18,000 miles on it.
Nice.
It had only been live for like 30 minutes and it was mine. Like I immediately started the process, like instantly. So many people had hearted that because it tells you, like, I was on Carvana and it had like 114 have hearted this. I'm like, oh no, they haven't. Those bitches.
It is mine. Oh yeah.
I bought it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
What'd you get?
It's a Lincoln MDC.
Ooh.
MKC?
Okay.
MXC? Something with a C. It's a fancy Explorer.
Yeah.
It's a fancy Explorer. It's just an Explorer. Or Escape. Fancy Escape.
I mean, it's a fancy SUV. I'm a fan of the Lincolns.
It's pretty.
My family.
Well, it was literally under 30,000. Like I was like, what? My minivan was $30,000.
Right. Finding an SUV under 30 grand, and that doesn't have a stupid amount of miles right now is
Exactly. Yeah, it hit 18,000 miles on it. I was like, yep. I'll send you pictures. It's so pretty. I love it so much. I didn't Facebook about it, but I love it. I'm very excited about it. So, because it makes me feel like a grown up, because I have never had a car in my name. So it's very exciting.
Yay! Oh my gosh, this is so exciting.
Very exciting. I shared it with America.
Big girl car. Oh, it's so nice. I've seen that.
Yeah, my kids were like, why didn't you get a van? I'm like, because fuck vans.
Yeah.
Like, literally fuck vans. And they were like, but there's room for us. I'm like, you guys are all fine. You're fine. Let me change the ambient lighting color. Calm down.
Right.
Like,
also, minivans are no longer cool after you're like out of middle school.
I hate minivans so much. I've driven 2 of them and I'm over it. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
I can't believe they wanted a minivan.
Because so they wanted the TVs. We had the 2 TVs.
Oh, okay.
And this car is for me, not that.
Right. They have cell phones and iPads you can watch.
Like, get the fuck over yourselves. Like,
yeah.
Their dad bought them each a school laptop and a gaming laptop. So each of them, there are 3 of them. So each of them have 2 laptops to their own name.
So they have all the screens that they need. They're fine.
Plus they have tablets and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, they have all the screens they need. They're golden.
Yeah.
Buy my fucking car. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Kids.
They're the worst. Don't have them.
Look, I got my tubes tied. It was the best day of my life.
I've had my tubes tied too, but it was like a little too. It was 3 too late. So, but I did it.
You got to make sure you get them tied before the kids come.
Yeah. No one told me that when I was 23. Like,
I know, right? They're just like, nah, it's fun. Get married, have a couple kids. That'll be grand.
It's super easy. Just marry just marry the first guy that asks you. It's fine.
Yeah, that'll go real well.
You guys have known each other 3 months? I'm sure you'll be fine. It's fine. It's good.
Oh, there are so many of those on TikTok. I'm like, seriously, we're still doing this?
Yeah, I did it, but that was like 20 years ago. So I'm sure.
Right. They're doing it now. And they're like, oh my God, I met him at Starbucks when I accidentally dropped my pencil and he picked it up and handed it to me. And
that's not a meet cute.
Right. And
that
3
is
months
a basic
later,
human decency.
I know. And they're like, 3 months later, we're at the courthaus. And I'm like, I don't understand how this turned
I'm going to need a whole lot of what happened in that 3 months in between, because that doesn't sound like a whole, like, that's my whole thing. It's like, hey, it's been this amount of time. I'm like, and I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. Like, I'm still, I don't know.
So I'm thinking about moving to Cleveland, and the girl that I've been talking to.
Oh, I love Cleveland.
I really like the city so far. Like the research I've done.
Drew Carey show. That's what I know from it, or know about it.
Cleveland rocks. Cleveland. Anyway, so the girl that I've been talking to, being a roommate, she was like, "I'm so glad to finally have a roommate that's not my partner." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She's lived in this apartment 3 years. She's had 2 ex-wives and 3 girlfriends. And I was like, "Sweetie, you need me as your roommate because I'm not going to date you. Why do you keep like just marrying or dating people?" She's like, "Well, we have these really wonderful moments out at like a bar or out in the park." And I'm like, in 3 years, you've had 2 marriages and 3 relationships.
You're like, no.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You're like, listen here, bookcase. No.
Right. I'm like, you need to learn to be alone.
Yeah.
Because this is not going well for you. And she's like, yeah, I just ended my last relationship with my roommate and
slash
partner. Right. And she's like, yeah, and my new girlfriend's great. And I'm like, whoa. Okay. You really, therapy is where we need to go here. 5 in 3 years is
it's a little much.
And 2 were marriages.
No, that's
I didn't even know you could legally like get married and divorce that fast.
Not if there's no kids, sure.
Yeah. So
oh my gosh.
I know. Yeah. And I was like, babe, I'm not. And then also she's another gay woman and she's like, you don't, go on a date and just want to spend all like the rest of the weekend with that person. I'm like, no.
I really like my space.
Yeah. Like I've worked on me.
Yeah. I spent this weekend with this guy once, and I was there Friday night, and then I was going to spend like all day Saturday, and then Sunday morning he was like, "We'll go to breakfast, and then I'll take you home." Whatever. I was like, "Okay, cool. Sounded great." like Sunday morning rolls around. I'm like, it's time to go. And he's like, you don't want to go to breakfast? I'm like, no. Take me home. Like, I am done. Like, and then he was like, do you want to hang out this week? I'm like, no.
Worst decision I ever made.
Good.
I spent 2 weeks in Germany with someone. I'd met them in April. I thought I was madly in love with this guy. He is
Of
military.
course.
And he got restationed in Germany. And so over Christmas, he's like, you should come see me for Christmas. 2 weeks I was there.
I would
And
do a lot of exploring stores.
Yeah, no, it was, luckily he worked all day. But 4 days in, I was like, oh, this is the worst
Bad
decision.
decision.
And I didn't know he had kids. He had teenagers.
And he didn't tell you this. This is
No.
not-
And so I'm
okay.
22 and there's a 16-year-old and a 15-year-old. And the kids are like, they're old enough that they recognize this is not dad's friend. We know who she is.
Yikes.
And so it was awkward. And I was like, I'm done.
Man.
But
Yeah, this
I
is not
committed to
okay.
a 2-week vacation.
You're like, my flight doesn't leave until this
It was
time.
worst decision of my life.
Oh my
I went out and
gosh.
did anything and everything I
Yeah.
could.
I
'Cause
would be like, I discovered a great restaurant right around the corner. It's super fun. I spent
Right,
the whole
and then-
day there.
Yeah,
I spent
'cause
the
if
whole
not-
day with the owner's family. They're fantastic.
Because if not, it's me and his teenage
Made
kids
friends with a
sitting
dog.
in his house until he gets home, and we're all like
Jeez.
awkwardly just not
my gosh.
speaking to each other and
Oh my gosh.
acknowledging. And then one day we were at the Christmas festival, and like I'm hanging out with his daughter, and I have my own money. I don't know why I spent it on her, but I bought her something, and I don't know what kind of relationship she has with her mom. But on the car ride back, she's like, Dad, you should marry America. She's so much cooler than Mom.
Ew, no. Don't marry me.
And he's like,
Don't.
yeah, it got awkward. And I'm like, what did America what did you get yourself into? And it was also the first time I'd ever dated someone with kids. And so I'm like having to realize there are politics.
There's a whole
within the
thing.
family.
Yeah. It's a whole thing. It's a nightmare.
2 weeks I was stuck in
way
that
too
really
long.
bad situation.
Oh my gosh.
It was so bad. Never again. Never. Right. If I could just tell younger me, don't do it.
Don't do it. I have so many. I have a list for her, for younger me. I have a whole list.
Oh,
Leave the
the
church, don't
things.
get married, blah blah blah.
I know.
All the things. But it's been about an hour, so we should probably wrap it up.
I can't
I
believe
don't
it's
know.
already been an hour.
I know. I just love talking to you. We actually should just actually talk. I'm just saying. Like
More often, right?
Not just on the show, but you and I should actually talk.
I know.
Because you're you're my friend, and I actually want to talk
I never
to you.
I never want to annoy people.
Oh, annoy me. Do it.
Okay.
It's not,
okay.
it's
That's
not
the thing.
annoy
I'm
me.
always like, oh, I don't want to try and I don't want to
Well,
bother.
I don't want to
anyone.
slide into your DMs and be all weird.
No, I think we need to start sliding into each other's DMs and be like, what are you doing?
Okay.
Like, do you want
I'll just start with a dick pic. I'll be like, hey, what's up? What do you think? You like my ball sack? It's not mine. It's not mine. I found it.
we'll just rate them.
I'll just randomly send you a dick pic. You up?
Yeah. And it's less weird coming from you. Somehow I'd be like, I am up. How's it going? What do you
Actually, come to think of it, wide awake. I don't know about you, but I am playing Pocket Frogs on my phone. So, what else?
What is Pocket Frogs?
Okay, I'm obsessed. It's like a children's game. I'm just breeding frogs. And then in order to make them adults, I take them to this pond and I hop around and I eat dragonflies. It's so satisfying. I love it.
That sounds adorable.
And then the frogs, you get new frogs as you level up, and then you breed them to get rarer frogs. And then you sell the ones that are common, and then you just keep getting rarer frogs. And then when you run out of space, you have to buy a new habitat for them. It's insane. That's what I'm doing all day. I get paid to play Pocket Frogs. I hope my employer's not listening to this.
I'm gonna have to check out Pocket Frogs now. And
It's so
my boss
stupid.
would be like, America, what are you doing? Playing Pocket Frogs.
Mind your business, bitch. That's my answer.
Yeah,
Mind your
yeah,
business.
exactly. I got my work
I am
done.
sitting in this meeting. That's what I'm doing. I am in this meeting.
I'm kind of listening.
I'm listening. Oh my gosh. So we had this meeting. I'm sure you can relate it some. We had this meeting and they were fighting. There's always these people that are infighting on teams constantly. And then there's the side text that our side chat that I get. It's like, did you make your popcorn? I'm like, girl, you know I did. And so, all that stuff, like people are sitting there talking about it. And she was like, I muted it. I'm like, I can't. I'm a boss. I can't mute it.
Right.
Like I have to be involved in the conversation. And she was like, sorry, sucks to be you. I'm like, sucks. So anyway, there's this whole thing. So they're sitting there infighting. So then we go to a meeting because there's too much fighting in teams. So we have to have a meeting about it. And this lady admits in the meeting that this job is so stressful that she drinks a whole bottle of wine every day.
No.
It's like, oh, sweetie, you can't admit in the meeting that you're drinking a whole bottle of wine while you're working. Like, you can't. That's not.
So I work for the company that owns Slack.
Okay.
So we use Slack at work.
Obviously. I use Teams, which is it's a different version of babysitter. It's just a babysitter.
Right. And the stuff that people will admit on Slack, I'm like, first of all,
you are not on Twitter. Stop.
I know. I'm like,
you're not on. Actually, you're not on Reddit. Not just Twitter. You're not on Reddit.
Right. I'm like, not only is this anonymous, it's owned by the company, y'all. Like they can see this.
Stop.
Your boss can see this. What do you? They will admit the craziest stuff, and I will sit there.
I just ignore everybody.
Yes.
Yes.
I make sure I won't even like or emoji.
No.
Because I know if the firing hammer comes down, they're gonna like take, and so I will just like scroll those threads that I'm like, I can't even believe you guys are
can't
having
even say this conversation. I'm not having this conversation with you.
Right.
We have Slack also, but I don't participate in Slack. We do Teams as the team. Like my team has Teams, and the most annoying. I've said this on the show before. Friday is the most annoying thing that ever happens.
No.
And then Happy Hump Day. Like those two things just make they're like nails in my head. And this week it was yay. And I was like, oh, that's worse. Like that's worse than Friday. I found a new level of hell.
I understand why Gen Z makes fun of millennials now. That is terrible.
I'm millennial-ish. Sort of.
They make fun of us so hard, and sometimes I'm like, yeah, no, I'm with you. I hate it's Monday morning and everyone needs to talk shit about Monday as if
I get it. It sucks. Right. I don't want to be here either.
Right.
Like, shut the fuck up and do your work and don't talk to me.
Right. And it's every single week. Everyone bitches about Monday. And I'm like, well then become a millionaire and retire already. But like we're at work.
I saw this guy that I'm Facebook friends with. He said today, he was like, no one who's a billionaire ever did or got there by not working. I'm like, bitch, they had loans from family members, small loans of like a $5 million.
Right.
Like no one who's a billionaire got there by working either. Let's be real. Like,
right. Paris Hilton did not slave away at McDonald's.
No. And work her way up the ladder. No. He's a libertarian. It's whatever.
Of course.
I'm like, of course he is. He's like, no one who's a billionaire it didn't work for someone else or doesn't work for someone else. I'm like, they also have family money.
Yeah. Family money helps a whole lot.
Yeah. The small loan of $5 million. It's just a little, just between friends. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. I'm going to wrap this up. You don't have to stay during the closure. You can just go. And I'm not saying just go, just saying you can. But it was so great to have you on the show and see you again.
All right, I'm gonna DM you, so it's not gonna be like
do it. Yeah, instead of me just being, hey, what are you doing on Sunday? Don't be weird.
No, I loved it. I'm glad you said something.
Me too. Well, Amy was like, I'm gonna be out of town on Sunday. I'm like, you were literally the first person I thought of. Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna message America. I sent her a text and she was like, oh, good call. I'm like, yes.
I'm gonna tell
and then I'm gonna be gone next week. And I'll text you why.
Sweet.
That's so awkward.
No, I want to know all the details.
Oh, she's like, tell all the tea. But yeah, I'm gonna be out of town next week, and then she's gonna have someone on. Probably not as fun as you. Don't listen to that episode, everybody.
Okay.
All right. So is there anything you want to plug, anywhere you want to promote, or
no,
please don't find me, leave me alone.
No, I mean, I only have real friends on Facebook, so I'd never let anyone follow me on Facebook. And if you're on TikTok, I'm
your friend on Facebook.
Yeah, because it has to be real friends so that I don't
Yeah.
have weirdos.
When you changed your name, I was like, who is that commented on something? I was like, oh, okay, it's America.
I know, and I had to do that because my real name.
Well, you changed your
so
picture
obvious.
too.
Oh, I did because
And you changed your picture to that shirt, which is a great shirt. But you changed your picture to that shirt and your name. I was like,
oh, that was too much at once.
I did some research. It was fine.
I'd gotten into a fight with someone and I was worried about them emailing.
I get it. Because I went to your page. I was like, based on context clues, I'm like, okay, I think I know who this is. This is America. Okay. I'm like, I'm just going to keep an eye on her just in case, though.
Yeah.
Like, heart, eyes. Just watching you. Yeah, so no, don't look at you. Don't talk to you. Leave you alone in Ohio.
Pretty much. No, that's not true. If you're on TikTok, I'm at Trouble Puffs, which is a dumb name, but I love it.
I love TikTok so much.
I spend all my time there.
I'm just breeding. I'm breeding frogs. That's what I'm doing.
I am okay. When this is over, I'm gonna look up pocket frogs.
It's so dumb. In the middle of the night, one night, it was recommended to be on an ad for my coloring app, and I was like, "Download." It's probably stealing all my information. Like,
as is everything else.
100%.
I use that information at work, so
yeah,
it's part of my job.
I need to put on something that's not falling off too. So
okay,
it's so cute though. But yeah,
I do love it. Okay, I will let you go.
It's always great talking to you. Yay! All right, bye. It's great talking to you.
Thanks to all of you motherfuckers who put up with the Amy's droning on week after week. If you enjoy their delightful bitchcraft, please follow them on all of the social medias and send them all of your money on Patreon or PayPal. You can find them on these platforms by using the Google machine. It's not hard. If you want to bitch with other fans about the show, join the Secret Soup Talk Facebook group. If you want to tell Amy and Amy to fuck off personally, you can send an email to secularsouppodcast@gmail.com, although it may go unanswered. Please rate and review the show on iTunes, Facebook, and wherever else you can review things like this. It will help spread the soup gospel far and wide. And hey, text someone right now. Tell your friends. As always, we'll leave you with the vocal stylings of Mr. Eli Bosnick.
Secular soup creed. Soup is the ultimate virtue. It's delicious, nutritious, patriarchy smashing, racism fighting, warm and fuzzy, human affirming, fun having, anti-theist, glitter throwing, tummy satisfying, pair of new shoes fulfilling, diversity seeking, happiness. Minestrone, beef and barley, chicken broth and split pea, gazpacho, tomato, clam chowder and potato, chicken noodle, beef noodle, egg drop and ramen cup, miso, gumbo, leek and pho. Grab a bowl and taste the magic. Slurp even this.